So I'm about to start going through the Handmaid series, starting back from season one. I do realize that I am several years behind, but bear with me. I just became a content creator putting out this stuff just here recently, and I literally just binge watched the whole thing and caught up during season five. So I am way behind. However, folks started letting me know that Margaret Atwood's book was based on things that had already happened. I want to let folks know I do know this because I read history for fun. So I know that many of these things, this dystopian that she wrote about, already happened for certain people in this country and globally. I get that. However, what I want to talk about is how this is mirroring the current GOP's push in their Project 2025. How what is going on with this series and what has already been shown is precisely what we are seeing play out with the Republicans, especially with their Project 2025. Project 2025 is where these Republicans are literally from day one trying to roll out their initiatives if there is a Republican president that comes into office. So when people try to compare the Dems and the Republicans, saying that they are essentially the same, and this is why they don't vote, president is not the most important person at all. These people with these Project 2025, they are trying to train people at the various levels of government. And so when people talk about, the president is not making policy on his own, on his or her own. It's just not how government works. It requires different branches and it requires Congress. It requires the judges, all of that. And what Policy 2025 is doing is trying to train all of these people so they are ready to jump into these roles. And if you do not know their game plan, if they're able to do this under the cover, they're doing it in plain sight. They are training people in plain sight. And folks are just like, I'm not going to vote. The Dems are just as bad. No, these people are literally trying to create a theocracy. Yes. So I want to talk to y'all a little bit about what 2025 is, because this goes hand in hand with the reason why I want to talk about the Handmaid's Tale. So this book, The Policy Agenda, is over 900 pages. Okay, so I'm not going to go over this whole book. I'm going to go over some of it. The Policy Agenda. This book is an invitation. See how nice that sounds? This is an invitation for the reader, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, and Miss Smith, to come to Washington or support those who can. Our goal is to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work on day one to deconstruct the administrative state. The 180-day playbook. The time is short, and conservatives need a plan. The project will create a playbook of actions to be taken in the first 180 days of the new administration to bring quick relief to Americans suffering from the left's devastating policies. So this game plan has 4 pillars. The 4th pillar of Project 2025 is our 180-day transition playbook and includes comprehensive, concrete transition plan for each of the federal agencies. Only through the implementation of specific action plans at each agency will the next conservative presidential administration be successful. That right there is just a reminder that the president, no matter who, R or D, is not king. So nothing that the sitting president is currently doing is impacting y'all unless he or she has the other branches. So when people try to talk like such and such did this, and this is the reason why y'all are feeling that, that is absolutely not how government works. I wish so many people understood how the government works, but alas, so many people simply think the president is responsible. No, you need all of these other people in place. You need the other government agencies. You need Congress. You need the judges. Pillar 4 will provide the next president a roadmap for doing just that. To learn more about this, they got a whole book. So this book is too long, but I'm going to read some of it. It's not 1980. In 2023, the game has changed. The long march of cultural Marxism through our institution has come to pass. The federal government is a behemoth weaponized against American citizens and conservative values, with freedom and liberty under siege as never before. So they want conservative values, but by the same token, they talk about freedom and liberty. They do not believe that other people have the freedom or the liberty to choose how they want to live. You guys get to have conservative values, even if you don't have conservative values. This is the choices that these people want to implement onto you. Project 2025 is more than 50 and growing of the nation's leading conservative organizations joining forces to prepare and seize the day. They don't want you to have freedom. They want to implement the freedoms that they want to implement. Let's talk about their 4 pillars. Pillar 1, this volume puts in one place a consensus view of how major federal agencies must be governed. They put a consensus view from conservatives, so other people don't get to choose. Pillar 2 is a personal database that allows candidates to build their own professional profiles and our coalition members to review and voice their recommendations. So they're going to have a conservative database to pick and choose and put into these different agencies. Pillar 3 is the Presidential Administration Academy. This is their training ground. It's an online educational system taught by experts from our coalition. For the newcomer, this will explain how the government functions and how to function in the government, because the president is not a king. I hope that you guys get this into your brain. It's not one person. And these people are literally trying to limit y'all's way of life. They do not believe in freedoms and liberties. All they believe in is a theocracy. In Pillar 4, the Playbook, we are forming agency teams and drafting transition plans to move out of the president's utterance of, "So help me God," under his eye. Under his eye. Freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than one generation from extinction. It is not ours by way of inheritance. It must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation. But they want to take other people's freedoms away. This is the duty history has put before us and the standard by which our generation of conservatives will be judged. And we should not want it any other way. The legacy of Mandate for Leadership, and indeed the entire Reagan Revolution, is that if conservatives want to save the country, we need a bold and courageous plan. This book is the first step. So I want to talk about these 4 points towards the bottom. Restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. Dismantle the administrative state and return self-governance to the American people. Defend our nation's sovereignty, borders, and bounty against global threats. Secure our God-given individual rights to freely, what our Constitution calls, blessings of liberty. So they want to continue to re-implement the nuclear family, even if the nuclear family isn't what people want. This is the reason why I am juxtaposing what is going on in real life, the Handmaid's Tale, real action life of what's going on with the Republican Party and the show, because the show is literally what's being played out right now. In many ways, the entire point of centralizing political power is to subvert the family. Its purpose is to replace people's natural loves and loyalties with unnatural ones. You see this in popular left-wing aphorisms. Government is simply the name we give to things we choose to do together. But in real life, most of the things we do together have nothing to do with government. These are the mediating institutions that serve as the building blocks of any healthy society: marriage, family, work, church, school, volunteering. The name real people give to the things we do together is community, not government. Today, the American family is in crisis. 40% of all children are born to unmarried mothers, including more than 70% of Black children. There is no government program that can replace the hole in a child's soul cut out by the absence of a father. Fatherlessness is the principal sources of American poverty, crime, mental illness, teen unaliving, substance abuse, rejection of the church, and high school dropout. Some kind of way, through policy, they're going to make everybody stick together. They're going to come down hard on single mothers. Some kind of way, they're going to self-correct teen unalivings. And yeah, this is where we are. So I'm going to connect this with what is going on with Project 2025. Y'all stay tuned. Go ahead and give your girl a follow, like, comment, share.